Ponyfans.com here with offensive line coach Adrian Klemm. And coach, your old team, the New England Patriots, played an exhibition game last night. Do you find yourself still getting the itch to, or when you're out here at practice, do you feel yourself wanting to strap it on and try to go again?
Nah, I'll go out there and get hurt. You know, the guys always mess around with me and call me out in one-on-ones and all that, but I can't do anything anymore. I can barely get around, you know. In the practice, my feet are swollen, knees are swollen, the whole nine, so I'm good where I'm at. You know, I enjoy coaching. I get a rush from that. And, you know, in regards to NFL, I didn't even really follow it. I didn't even know they were playing last night. You know, I watched the Super Bowl, but that's about it, you know. So I'm focused on this right now.
You've got a line going into this year. You're expected to start 5 juniors. And you've talked many times about how one of the biggest keys for offensive line is the cohesiveness and the familiarity between the guys. How much is that going to help you having 5 guys going in as your starters who've been working together for 2 or 3 years together?
It's big time because it gives some continuity. Guys get used to one another. Guys know what to expect from one another, know what each other's weakness and strengths are. So just it makes my job a little bit easier, you know, and just gives them confidence in each other.
You got 2 new starters in there this year, Blake McJunkin at center, Kelly Turner at right guard. Both of them seem to have sort of a wilder, more aggressive personality. Will they change the personality of the whole line?
Well, Bryce is aggressive, JT is aggressive, you know. Beacham's gotten more aggressive since he's gotten stronger. So my thing that, you know, obviously I want the guys to get their assignments correct, but more than anything I want to be physical, and I want to play with a certain toughness and bring a certain physicality to the game. You know, I think that's contagious once we do certain things. And, you know, even though we pass the ball a lot, like I always say, we don't need to be passive, you know, and just they fit right into what we're trying to do and what we're trying to be.
You've always said since you got here that you wanted the line to sort of reflect your personality. And your personality when you played at Hawaii and then in the NFL was, like you said, very aggressive, very physical. How close is this group to sort of looking like 5 younger Adrian Klemms out there in terms of the way they carry themselves and attack a defense?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say they're like me or anything like that. You know, some of these guys are better than me probably, or they'll be better than me. But in terms of getting the idea of what I expect from them, you know, they're starting to get that, and they're starting to try to aim for that. You know, I just really stress the same things each and every day, and we try to practice that way, whether we're going against a defense or we're going against a scout, you know, or offensive scout team. We just try to do the same things over and over and over, so that it becomes a habit.
Now, when you guys beat up on Nevada in the Hawaii Bowl last year, Kyle Padron comes home with the MVP trophy. Sean Bray McNeil had a great day running the ball. But what didn't really get discussed very much was the fact that they were barely touched all day. Your line had a great day, including holding the WAC Defensive Player of the Year virtually invisible during that game. How much did that one day's performance help in terms of the confidence and the enthusiasm they had going into the offseason workout program?
I'm not really excited about it because a lot of things that we were trying to do throughout the season really came together at the end. You know, we had a lot of moving parts. You know, quarterbacks coming in and out and different things of that nature. And so once we got settled in and we had the time to really work with one another, and Cal got the chance to really spend those 3 weeks or whatever, you know, just getting, you know, keen on certain things and knowing what coach expected of him, you know, just the guys had a lot of confidence in him, and in turn he had more confidence in us, and it just kind of, you know, something that went all the way around. But then, you know, that's the life of offensive lineman. You're overworked and underappreciated, you know. So the guys are used to that. Don't get really excited about it, you know. Don't get down about it. I mean, it just is what it is. You know, that's the nature of playing where we play. So.
You've always said, one of the phrases that you've said a lot is that you want this line to be able to impose its will on a defense. But you coach under a head coach whose style involves not really hitting very much in practice. How do you develop that mentality and the technique to impose your will on a defense when you're not hitting much in practice?
Well, when we go through our walkthroughs, you know, for the first maybe 45 minutes of practice, everything we do, whether we're doing soft scout, which is, you know, offensive linemen playing defensive players against our starters, I make them go full speed, and it's full tilt, punching, finishing, the whole 9, and it just creates a little bit of competition as well. So, I mean, we have to create that somewhere on our own, you know, if we're not going to do it in team.
We look at the 5 starters in the junior class, but one guy who has shown some versatility, having only been here a year, is Brian Collins. He had to start right away last year at right tackle. Now you've got him as a backup at both tackle and guard. Is he sort of a wild card? Does he become almost as valuable as the starters because of that versatility?
Yeah, most certainly, because there's a lot of guys. We're very young once you get past our starters. And so he's a guy that I'm just relying on to be able to fill in any need we may have going throughout the season. And as guys develop and guys progress, then he'll focus on maybe right tackle or just left tackle. But as for right now, he's going to be the guy behind all those positions except for center.
Talk a little about the rest of the depth, some of the other reserves you've got there who can fill in behind some of these guys. Who stood out to you among these young guys?
It's one of those things, just because what we do is fairly complicated, and it takes a long time for guys to really get it. I mean, even the guys that are starters now, aside from Beach and aside from a couple of guys on the starting offensive line, a lot of them just start figuring out right now, and it's 2 years in, going into their third year. So I don't really expect them to really pick it up right now. It's one thing to go on the board, they can get it all right, but when there's, the bullets are flying and everything, it's a different story. So that being said, the ones that, I can anticipate that be in the mix in terms of being a backup will probably be Ben Gottschalk, definitely Jordan Free, and then Brian Collins, like we talked about.
All right, you're just about a week away from opening the season out at Texas Tech. And I'll ask you the same thing I've asked several other people, which is their offense gets all the attention because Mike Leach is gone. They have a new coaching staff, new offensive coordinator, but you got to prepare for that defense. What are your impressions of the defense you're going to see? You've seen Alabama film. Their defensive coordinator came from Alabama, but you also have a little familiarity with the personnel. What do you expect to see from the Tech defense?
A lot of movement, a lot of action up front, But, I mean, that's what it was a couple years ago. Some things will be a little bit different, but we'll see a lot of movement, a lot of action up front, and guys that try to be physical and, high motor guys and different things of that nature. So, I mean, not much really changes. What they do schematically changes a little bit, but in terms of us seeing a lot of things, we're accustomed to that. I mean, you can only do so much against us, and in order to generate pressure, you're not just going to bring 3 guys every time or anything like that. So we expect to see blitzes, expect to see movement, and expect to see a lot of stunts.
And does the size of the crowd that you're going to see out in Lubbock affect your guys more than anyone else, simply because of the communication that they need to be able to have up front?
It might be loud, but you need to embrace those type of things. Like I tell these guys, we don't always have a great home crowd, and when you get an opportunity to play in front of 70,000 or whatever it's going to be, you need to embrace it and enjoy it. We don't come across that very often, and just you need to look at it the other way. That's a great opportunity. It's an opportunity to quiet the crowd and enjoy it, and talk a little trash, and just you just got to embrace the moment. It's going to be a great experience for the guys.
And when you think about your line, you've got a lot of guys who are willing to embrace that whole trash talking
well, I don't mean trash
idea,
talking,
right?
It takes away from the game. I just mean enjoy it, enjoy it, kind of like a Hawaii thing. When we're in the Hawaii Bowl and guys just enjoy it, and they have fun with it. And so I want them to go out there, do well, and get a good jump on them early on, and just enjoy it and just put pressure on them throughout the game.